had a shotgun pulled on me. We walked up to the door, knocked on it, and this old man came out, cowboy hat, no shirt. He was here in Provo, and he had a shotgun in his hand and was like, I don't like Mormons. And I made the mistake. It was my second transfer. And I was saying, why is that, sir? And he cocked the shotgun, and he was like, goodbye, sir, and turned around and walked away. And we were like, I didn't think I'd get a shotgun pulled on me in Provo. And my companion was like, I didn't think so either. So that happened. It was crazy. Playing with Nerf guns was a thing. We played with them like on our P days. Every once in a while we'd get together and have Nerf gun wars. So one time, me and my companion, when we should have been doing language study, we're having a Nerf gun fight in our apartment. And I was sitting, and we had this giant beanbag, and I was standing behind this beanbag, waiting for the opportunity, waiting until I heard his dart start firing so I could get up and shoot at him. And I heard his dart stop firing, and I popped up, and he used the opportunity and shot. Got me right in my right eye, and I was like, oh, dang it, and I got down. He was like, are you okay, Elder? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I stood back up, and boom, got me in my left eye. And I was like, dang it, Elder. My second transfer, I was only with Elder, my trainer, for 6 weeks. Second transfer, there was this torrential rainstorm. And in Oregon, whitewater rafting is huge. So I'd gone whitewater rafting. That's what I felt like when I was on my bike. We were trying to get to the stake center for cover. And it was just coming down in buckets. And it was just huge. I felt like I had gone underwater, and I was trying to, I was pedaling, like literally my feet were going like this, and I was moving like maybe a centimeter a second, and I was just, because the wind was blowing and the water was just pouring down, and we got to the stake center, and we managed to get our district together, and so we all sat in the stake center for like 2 hours waiting for this rainstorm to come. And so we had to call our dinner and be like, we're not going to make it because of this rainstorm. Can you bring it to us in the church? They're like, when the rain stops, we'll bring you some KFC. And so the rain stopped, and they brought us some, because we were drenched from head to toe. And so that was the craziest weather, was, that big, huge rainstorm on my second transfer. You can't do things alone. There were a lot of times where I felt like I needed to be the strong companion, and I needed to be the strong one to go do. To do it, I needed to be the best. A lot of times that just ended up me, making a fool of myself. But, we needed, I learned that I needed to rely on other people. Rely on my companion, because everyone has their strengths, everyone has their weaknesses. And so I learned that through a variety of companions. And I'd say that by the time I, haven't quite mastered it yet, but it's definitely a big life lesson, is I have to learn that other people have their strengths too, and that I can rely on them. In Vernal, met deer a lot on the road. They would come, they would just stand in the middle of the road and just and watch you. Because they get that dazed in the headlights look, and so we'd have to stop and turn off our headlights and just honk until they moved. Dogs are also a big thing. Getting chased by dogs happens in Provo. But that's the closest that I ever got to a big, crazy wildlife encounter. My favorite food that they served was something called pupusas. That's El Salvadorian food from El Salvador. And I loved it so much, actually, that's the only food I learned how to make. Like, I saw other foods get made, and I know the basic principle, but that is the only food I went up to a member and said, please teach me how to make this. Because I love them so much. They're the flat cornbread. And they are stuffed with various things. They're stuffed with cheese, or they're stuffed with pork and beans. And then they have this sauce that goes with it. And then they have it's kind of like this coleslaw thing. They call it cortillo. And it's chopped up cabbage and lettuce and carrots that soaks in this vinegar for a while, and what you do is you take the pupusa and you rip part of it off, and you use the pupusa and you grab the cortillo and you dip it in the sauce and you eat it. And I just loved pupusas and whenever I learned that someone was El Salvadorian, the moment I learned they were going to feed us, I would go up to them and say, please make pupusas. I would love some pupusas. In Argentina, their Spanish is different than everyone else's. So the word trastes means dishes in everywhere else except Argentina, where it means something very different. So asked once, if you ask, can I wash your dishes? Puedo lavar sus trastes. You're into an Argentinian, you're asking to wash something very different that they don't want you to wash. So that was that. That was one of them, and luckily they knew. So they just started laughing, and they knew. They were like, "No, Elder, you don't want to ask that." And so that was good. We had a woman who had been taught for years by the missionaries, and eventually, when we started teaching her, she wanted to be baptized, and we were working really hard. Everything just went wrong on the day of her baptism. She got in a car crash. Her neck was sore. Just everything was going, they forgot her underclothes for the baptism. You need white underclothes, and they forgot that. And everything was just going wrong for this woman. And she was just heartbroken. But she decided that she wanted to be baptized, and that she was going to. And it was really good for us, because we had decided, our mission had set a goal for a total number of baptisms, that we were going to reach a certain number, 500 baptisms in the month of December of that year. And each of us were supposed to get on our knees and pray and determine how many baptisms our companionship was going to contribute. And me and my companion had come to the number 2. That's what we felt like the Lord wanted us to contribute. And we got the one. We got one. He had agreed to be baptized in November, and December came, and so he got his baptism date in December, and he was baptized. Boom. And we just didn't know where this other one was going to come to, and then where it was going to come from. And this woman ran in to our gospel principles class, and right afterwards came up to us, was like, "Elders, I want to be baptized." 2 weeks later, she was done. She was baptized. That was awesome. So that was, but even with all that, that struggle and that with the car crash and everything, she knew she wanted to be baptized, and so that's what she did. Bring short sleeves for the summer. In the winter, make sure you have a big jacket for the snow and the cold. Have plenty of socks, warm socks. Have a pair of formal boots that you can wear to church, so that when you're walking through snow. And have 2 or 3 suits, because you wear suits a lot. Every time you go to a meeting, you have to wear a suit, and you go to a lot of meetings. So